Everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI tutorial by Slides Group. In this part, we are learning how to create this ESG risk analysis dashboard. In this dashboard, you can see we have average total ESG risk score, we have average environmental risk score, average of social risk score, governance risk score, average risk score by employee count, average risk score by controversy level, the ESG risk level distribution. Now, in which sector we have highest average risk score, in which industry do we have highest and lowest ESG risk score is something that we are going to learn in this chapter. The data set that we have, I will provide complete introduction about the data set and for what purpose it can be used. And here you can see we have sector, industry, full-time employees, total risk score, environmental, governance and social risk score is given, controversy level and score are given, ESG risk percentile is given. So we will learn how to create this dashboard, how to bring this background image and how to do this analysis. So let's get started with it. So the data set that we are using in this project is this S&P ESG risk rating data set that you can get from this Kaggle URL here, which I will provide in the description. And you can see the data set exclusively showcases companies from S&P 500 index, and researchers, investors can use this data. So this data set provides a comprehensive view of companies within the S&P 500 index, offering valuable insight into their ESG performance and risk profiles. It serves as key resource for researchers, investors, analysts, and policymakers seeking to evaluate sustainability practices, assess ESG-related risk, and make informed investment decisions. Dataset columns are sector, industry, full-time employees, total ESG risk score, environmental risk score, government's risk score, social risk score. So all ESG risk scores are also given separately. Controversy level, controversy score, ESG risk percentile, and ESG risk level. In the original dataset that we will download from here, we also have company name, company description, etc. But for anonymity, I'm just using sector, industry, and other things here. So now we will start analyzing this data with our favorite BI tool. Now to analyze the data and create a simple dashboard, we will use Power BI for it. And in Power BI, first when we'll click on our canvas, we can go to format your report page, and here we have canvas background from where we can select an image for our canvas. So we have selected the image, which is ESG background that I have created using Canva, and we will simply reduce its transparency to 5% at this moment. So this is the basic image where we are going to put our different visuals. Now in the data, first thing that we have to do is we have to load the data. So to do that, click on get data and click on text CSV file, or in this case, by after editing the data, removing some columns, I have saved it as Excel. So I will just use the Excel workbook connector. Remember, whatever file type you have to select that connector. So after selecting the data set, we will connect the sheet, and you can see we have the file. We will simply load it. So here we have the data set, and here we have full-time employees, total ESG risk score. Obviously, in some cases it is blank, but so we will simply sort descending, and now you can see the ESG risk scores, percentile, controversy level, social risk score. So what we can do is we can create average cards here, like average ESG risk score, average environment risk score, and so on. So we will simply use some cards here. For cards, we can use obviously this simple card here, and we can try to create some cards like this. And first we will drag some fields here. For example, total ESG risk score is given. We will calculate average risk score for all the rows that we have, and this is average of total ESG risk score. Now here we have the call out value. First of all, we will make the call out value around 30, make it bold, and the color that we are going to select some shade of green. So this we will select, and here instead of this we will rename for this visual as average total ESG risk score. And there is one more thing that we can do here in call out and category label. We can make it bold so that it appears properly, and we can reduce its size a little bit. So this is average total ESG risk score, and we can also make it a little bit of give it a little bit transparency, or make it you know make its background transparent. So for example, something like this. So when it is visible, then we will select. So for example, let's make it 15%. It is good for me. Now to understand the risk score, we can also distribute or categorize this risk score into different levels. Like it can be 0 to 10, so it is negligible, that is minimal ESG risk is strong sustainability practices. So companies which have 0 to 10 ESG risk score. Companies having 10 to 20, this is low. Well managed ESG risk with limited exposure. 20 to 30 is medium, that is moderate ESG risk and that may require attention. 30 to 40 is high, significant ESG risk with potential financial impact. And 40 plus is severe, major ESG risk that could affect business operations and reputation. So the dataset average is coming around 21.53, which we can consider medium or moderate here. And similarly, we can create a simple effect here, like we can create a visual border, and we can give it a 12 pixel border. We can select this. So this is our one card. Similarly, we'll create another and we will replicate it. Here we are going to bring environmental risk. So this is total ESG, and here we are going to bring average of environmental. So you can see average environmental risk score is in the lower range, and this is average social risk score. Instead of sum, we will use average. So let's change the visual name first. Instead of average of, we can simply write average, so which is good for us. And this is average of social risk score, environmental, social, and then governance. So we will simply copy it, and we can create governance here. This will be average of governance. So if we want, we can also insert a simple image representing ESG. So we can add an image to our report. This is the image. So by going in the properties, we can go to effect and enable a simple background. We can give a little bit of transparency. That is okay. So we can enable something like this. So obviously this will need some settings, so we'll check what is better. But you can enable some image background and just representing ESG here. So this is average of total risk score, average environmental risk score, social risk score, governance risk score. Now we uh, have done some research. Obviously industry experts will know more about it, but as per our research, these are the different ESG risk score categories. And let's say in Power BI, if we have to, create a simple column, so that column will be calculated like this. So we will use switch. In switch, we use the first expression as true, and then from our table, we select total ESG risk score. If less than equal to 10, negligible. If it is less than equal to 20, low. Less than equal to 30, medium, and so on. And if it is greater than 40, severe, otherwise unknown. And we just have to replace the table name here. Table name here in our case is SP500 this. So we will rename it for simplicity. So ESG risk score or something, we can rename it as this, right? So we can copy this, and all you have to do is replace this table name with this new table name that we have. Now to create this calculated column in our table, we can right click here and create a new column, or we can go to modeling tab also, and here we will use ESG risk category and create it. So now this will convert the numerical column. With the help of values in the numerical column, we will have a categorical column, severe, high, etc. And now we can see how many companies have severe risk, how many companies have high, how many companies have low, etc. And in order to do that, we can use a donut chart or a pie chart, whatever you want to see. And for example, let's say this. Here, there is one more thing. We don't have, record IDs here. Like we don't have number of companies and etc. So in order to do that, we can go to the transform tab. It will open Power Query Editor for us. We can go to add column. We can add an index column here. While adding the index column, we can start from 1. That's just what I like to do. You can go back to home and close and apply. Index column is basically unique value for each row here, right? So you will see unique value for each row. This will help us in counting total number of companies, within different ESG risk score categories. So as a legend, we will bring ESG risk category, and we will bring count of index as values. So we will bring count of index as values. You can see 37% of companies are within low range, 36.38 medium, 15.71 negligible, and high are 9.94, and severe are 3. So this way you can find out, statistics. Here we can also choose colors because we are choosing a green theme color here. So we have slices. So we can select, like for low, we can select a color which is lighter green color. For medium, we can select a little darker. Okay. This way we can keep creating this. So let me do this. So here, let's say we can increase the green here, right? And for severe, more color, paste the green and increase green furthermore. So whatever you want to do, you can select it like this, but this is representing number of companies by ESG risk category. We can make the heading bold and text color dark green color, which we have selected, and align it to center. We can also select this and go to general tag effect tab. We can give a visual border as this color and 12 pixels. If you want, you can enable shadow also, but that is optional. And we can also give it a more meaningful name, something like ESG risk level distribution. We can also show ESG risk level distribution in terms of a bar chart or a column chart. That's your choice. Now we have sector here, and our target value is the total ESG risk score. So we can also do sector wise ESG risk. So for example, in order to show that, we can also create a stack column chart here, and here on x-axis we will select the sector, and on y-axis we can select the total risk score, right? So we can select total and we can give average. So here you can see energy sector has average risk score 32, and in case of real estate it is lowest. On the basis of this, you will see different industries with highest to lowest risk scores. For example, basic materials 26.72, utilities 26.71, consumer defensive, industrials, then financial services, healthcare. So you can see the average of ESG risk score by sector here. And we can simply copy the formatting from here and apply it here. Now we saw that we had to manually do this coloring, right? Like gradient coloring. But if you go to a stack column chart or a clustered column chart, almost the same thing. So in these things, what we can do in these charts, what we can do, we can go to columns, and in colors we can go to a function. We can create a function, and we can select gradient, and here we will select what value we are selecting. So we are selecting total ESG risk score, and the summarization that we are using is average. So if it has a lowest value, we will select the green color that we are choosing. So for example, we can select this lower green color, and for higher values we can select a dark green color. Okay, or whatever you want to do, you can do it reverse also. It will display data like this. So here you will be able to understand average of total ESG risk score by sector. Here you have legend, which is showing value from 13.09 to 32.34. So we can go to visual and disable the legend, and we can enable data labels. So this way you will be able to see values for different sectors as well. And since we have some space here, we can increase the size and increase this size also. We can adjust heights. So this is ESG risk level distribution, and this is average of total ESG risk score. Okay. So we have done sector wise average risk. You could have displayed it with a tree map also. So we have industry wise ESG risk comparison. So to do industry wise ESG risk comparison, what we can do here is we have the different industries here. So let's copy this simply and paste it here on right hand side. We are just using this image as a reference, like there is small guys protecting the environment, kind of showing the true meaning of ESG compliance, etc. And here instead of sector we will add industry. Okay, so you can see it is highest in case of oil and gas integrated, and if you scroll further, you will see it is lowest in case of leisure, auto parts, auto and truck dealerships, etc. Right? These are the different industries. The average of total ESG risk score by industry. So what we will do, we will keep this as a bar chart here or column chart, vertical bar, and we can convert this into a simple tree map. So now this will show us as a tree map, because here we have limited number of values. Like obviously this also has limited, but it has 10 or 12 values, but it has many values. Now this is average of total ESG risk score by industry, and we will also, we can also apply different type of filters, which we will see how we can apply. So or let's say you want to show top 10 industries, just giving you an example. So here you can see industry is all. Instead of basic filtering, you can select top n and click top 10 here, and in by value you can select this value and select its average and apply. So this is top 10 industries, by ESG risk score, oil and gas to agricultural inputs. Okay, so this is how you can create top 10. If you don't want this, then you can remove this filter. Okay, so we can remove this filter. This is optional, but just wanted to let you know how you can do that. So next in our analysis, we also have different type of controversy levels, and we want to see average total risk score by controversy level. For example, if the controversy level is severe, then whether the average risk score will also be higher. So for that, we can simply create a copy of this, and by creating a copy of this, what we can do simply is we can, let's convert it to a pie chart, and here we'll remove this as a legend, and here we will bring the controversy level here, and instead of count of index we will bring total ESG risk score. So you can see instead of sum we will select average. So its title will be average risk score, average risk score by controversy level. And here you can see in case of severe controversy, we have average risk score is also on the higher side, that is 6.75. High controversy, significant, and in case of non-controversy level, you can see average risk score is 16.16. So which is very much relevant here. And can also go to slices and select the colors. Now we can also see average risk score by full-time employees, because we have to see the distribution of full-time employees also. In order to see the distribution, we can either choose a clustered column chart or a stack column chart here first of all. So first of all, I'll just make its copy so that we have the width here already. I'll match it with the border here, and here we will first choose clustered column chart here, and instead of level, on x-axis we will simply bring full-time employee count here, and on y-axis let's say we want to bring count of these employees, like in how many companies do we have. So it is saying sum of index, we will show count of index. Okay, so what this is showing is employee distribution. So you can see full-time employees are from 0 to a high value here. So that's why you are seeing a distribution like this. So for example, there are cases like this, this and this, where are only one case. So it is 500,000, So we can also use some kind of filter. For example, full-time employees is less than, so this is optional, but this way we can create the group. Or what you can do, you can click here and create a new group, and it will create bins of full-time employees, and bin size will be this much. So what we will do is we will create number of bins. So let's say we want to create 15 bins, and let's try to bring that full-time employee bin here. Okay, so now you can see full-time when we have brought that bin, so you can see the distribution like this. In case of bins, you can see these are the companies within the first bin, companies, total number of count of companies within a second bin, and so on. So this is, here also we can see the average risk score. To do that, we can also create a line and cluster chart, and in line axis we can bring the average ESG score. So we will simply bring the average ESG score. You can see when number of employees are less, average ESG score is 21.62, but in this case it is highest, right, which is in the bin of around 140,000 employees. So if you want to use this bin, you can keep using the bin on x-axis. If you want to bring the original column, you can bring that also, and whatever you want to do, you can select accordingly. So let's reduce the bin, and then you will be able to see the distribution. So this is how you can do that. Now, since this group is very big group, so like the more number of companies are there, so we can edit the group, and let's say we want to make the count around 30. Let's see. Okay, so in this case you will be able to analyze it in a better way. So this is showing us the first group count of index 400, second group 54, and so on. So this is 0.2 million group, where you can see average of total ESG risk score is 26.6. So if you will increase the number of groups here, so then you will be able to see, let's say if we be to 50, then also you will be able to analyze it in a better way. So we can change the title here. This will be average risk score by employee count, and here we can also select colors. For example, in visual we have the columns, column color is this, and we also have line color, so we can go to lines, and you can select a different type of color for line. So we have series all, here we have color, so we can select a color like this or something like this, and we can use this space and this space for some filters here. So for example, we want to use industry and sector as a filter, so we can add slicer here. In slicer we can use a field to show it as a filter. So for example, we want to bring industry filter here. Now we'll go to slicer settings and select drop down, and in selection we will enable select all, and here in visual we have slicer header, so we will select some color and make it bold. In our slicer values we will again select the theme color, make it bold, increase its size. So we have the different type of industry here. For example, we select utility, so here you will be able to see average risk score, average environmental risk score, average of social risk score, governance risk score, etc. And here employee count also you can see, If you select regulated water, utilities, so whatever utilities, because in utilities also we have different type of sectors. So this will create one sector for us, and we can go to effect, give it a little bit of effect, for example, a visual border 12 pixel. Now we will copy this and we will add it here. Instead of industry, we will add sector here. So this is sector. For example, let's select healthcare sector. So in healthcare sector, you can see the controversy level, ESG risk level distribution, average governance, average of social, average of environmental risk, and total average. So for every sector and every industry, you will be able to check that. So this is our simple ESG risk analysis dashboard, and we can add a simple text box here also and give it the same type of styling. This is a simple ESG risk analysis dashboard which we have created from the data that we have. We have tried to bring different type of metrics here in order to see their effect on overall ESG risk analysis, overall ESG performance of companies. So which you can use to make decisions. If you like this tutorial and would like to learn more Power BI, Tableau, data analysis in particular, please subscribe to our channel where you will find many videos related to data analysis and business intelligence. Thanks for watching this. Have a nice day.